I take the honor of welcoming everyone who is joining in now. You're all welcome to the Rotary Club of Kasese every Tuesday. We normally meet at Margarita Hotel, but right now we are live on Zoom. Also physically, I can see some members here who are online and Rotractors, interactors who are able to join us, visiting Rotarians. Once again, you're welcome. We'll be having a guest speaker tonight who will be sharing with us on how to recruit and probably extend and retain the members that are already in our clubs, and looking outside there to other potential members. And all those strategies can help us to grow Rotary more. I'm glad our guest speaker is already in the house. Rotarian Hamza, allow me to welcome all the members that have joined in from the different clubs. Specifically, the Rotary Club of Kabarole, the Rotary Club of Ivanda, the Rotary Club of Fort Potro, the Rotary Club of Kasese Snow Peaks, and the many other clubs like the Nsanjis, as they will be appreciated at the end of the day. And we are here to learn from you, and we are here to share from each other, because on the journey of Rotary, it is all about sharing ideas, learning new ideas, and continuous learning, because learning does not end. That being said, welcome Rotarian Rangel, who is going to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, President of tonight, Assistant Governor Rona, Rotarians, and Rotaractors and guests. Allow me to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is a graduate of medical epidemiology from McGill University, International Health Sciences University, and Kansas State University in the USA. He is a senior medical epidemiologist working with the Ministry of Health Uganda and the Infectious Diseases Institute, IDI, as a national health platform coordinator. Our speaker this evening is a member of the National Task Force for COVID-19 Uganda. He oversees the control of zoonotic diseases by security, stock by safety, and antimicrobial resistance, AMR, as one health global threat. He is the focal person for Ministry of Health Uganda at the Africa Center for Disease Control, Africa CDD. He's a Global One Health Fellow. He's a Global One Health Policy Expert. He's an infectious disease researcher, author, and has published peer-reviewed papers in scientific journals like The Lancet, Nature, PLOS 1, PLOS1. He has also developed an individual network, medical for control of Rift Valley fever, the first of this kind in Africa, and published paper on the journal called PLOS, PLOS 1. He's a proprietor of Mahi Public Health Dimensions and the Anil Healthcare Initiatives. He's also a board member of Buganda Kingdom Health Fraternity. He is a businessman dealing in tiles, SM Tiles Mart, Director of Destiny Forex Bureau, and Director at Signature Suites Hotel. He is an ardent rabbit farmer. He is a regional membership coordinator for District D9211. He has authored a book of the title, My Rotary Transformational Ideas. He is a father of 3 children. Our guest speaker is also a chairman of the Laughters Fellowship that is being registered with RI. Members, join me to welcome our evening speaker, Rotarian Haj Musa Hamza Sekamate.
Wow. Whew. How can I describe that? You're most welcome, and thank you, Rotarian Ranjeru, for that mega introduction of our guest speaker. I really am very expectant of so many things.
Friends, I'm very happy to share with you my experience this evening. And I also want to thank each and every one of you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. You chose the right person because I am the regional membership coordinator for District 9211, the opportunity here. And I also have a couple of friends. I've seen my fellow RMC, Rotarian Dennis Mugara, is online all the way from Kabarole. Good to see you. But friends, we need to dive quickly into the subject of the matter this evening, and the subject is about membership growth. Very many people are asking me questions. What is the title of the presentation? But we decided to be unique. We decided to employ transformational ways, and we decided to mix French with English. But for the first word, really, it means club. And then the last word there on the title clearly talks about growth. So what are those core things we are looking out for in terms of seeing clubs grow is what we are going to discuss this evening. There is quite a lot that has been going on, and for purposes of us appreciating where we have come from and where we want to go, is to first of all know who we are. And the moment you know who you are, it becomes very easy to know where you're going. And where you're going is, you know, the ability for you to execute projects, you know, when they come around. I know that the Rotary Club of Kasese is a very, very vibrant club and very experienced in a number of ways. But it is also important for us to remind ourselves of what, you know, we're here to do. So we are basically here to serve, and you know, Rotary equals voluntary service as we wait for the presentation to come on. And friends, service above self is what Rotary is about, and most notably is for us to put others first. And when we put others first, we can never fail to make a difference in lives of others. And that also is coupled with asking ourselves great questions. It changes the way how we look at things, and in the process we are transformed as individuals. If the presentation is not there, it is still okay. We can flow with
the presentation is there, Rotary and Hamza.
It's okay. We can just continue listening in. As you know, friends, I was telling you about service above self. It's what Rotary is about. And we are only looking at, you know, putting other people first. But here, this evening, we are seated on what we call the treasure of membership. The treasure on trying to make membership, you know, increase from just the mere 1.2 million to about, you know, double the number at about 2.4. But the problem is, what are we doing that is not right? And I felt that I should share with you the membership at glance. And like John Jam said, John Jam is the Rotary International past president, I think 2015-16. He said that Rotary's biggest challenge is membership, and we need to expand our memberships so that we can do more. There's no way we are going to do more if the membership drive is still low. Sam Owori, one of my mentors, who you all know very well, once said that having been in existence for over a century and the boasting of a membership of, of less than 1% of the world's population clearly shows that the Rotary family is below its potential. But friends, is it what we want? Why are we in a situation of crawling when we should be able to run? It is socially unacceptable for a person to keep crawling when they should be walking, or walking when they should be running. Even running is mediocrity when the person has the ability to fly. The quick question I want to ask is, as Rotarians, where are we? Are we still crawling when we should be flying? And that's where the topic of the discussion is. We are busy crawling, and yet we should be flying. Getting people together is one thing, but also executing the TORs for us to engage them is another thing. Now, great Rotary clubs, great Rotarians engage people. And engagement has to be human because people trust people more than the brands. It is also important for us to note that, if we want to build a better world, and that is the new page, if we want to build a better world, we have to awaken the souls of our Rotarians to their own potential and to the longing inside each and every one of us. That was said by Barry Raisin. We are probably out there as Rotarians, but we are failing to do the right things in order to, to support our own clubs. And in that way, we are not increasing the membership. We are still stuck. And in any case, if you look at statistics, you will realize that it is even less than 1.2 million at the outset. But we also need to appreciate the fact that there are many places which need Rotary and the numerous potential members who have never been invited. But the problem is you, the Rotarians, who got in and you close the doors. Now, if you go straight to the slide which talks about leadership, if you scroll quickly and you get the slide which has leadership, and this is where we need also to to give focus. Now, leadership in Rotary is one thing to to steer up. So, who are the leaders? What is the role of these leaders, and what is the mandate of these leaders? There's a couple of echoes that are coming in. I think we need to mute some. What are the types of leaders that we are looking out for, and how do we characterize these leaders? Transformational leaders are inspirational. Transformational leaders are team players. And in my opinion, I call them team first attitude. They are visionary. They have the ability to tolerate risk. They have very good communication skills. They are loyal. They are full of empathy. They encourage, and they are positive. Now, once the leadership of a particular club has been able to surround themselves with such great descriptions, the issues of pessimism are going to die, because the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity, and the optimist sees opportunity in every difficult. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we avoid issues of pessimism. But the leaders of today and the leaders of tomorrow, for those who are looking at developing clubs, for those who are looking at increasing membership, should be able to be, have the ability to take on the descriptions that we just mentioned above. Be inspirational. It costs nothing for you to inspire. Have the ability to have empathy. Encourage, be positive. A lot of negative energy is within us, but most notably is we don't want to get in situations where we only want to focus on this negative energy. Negative energy brings issues of interest. And if you want to be interested first. So be interested in having positive energy. At the end of the day, you're even going to encourage your members, and they're going to end up being satisfied with the way you run, the club, but also your leadership style. And in one way or the other, we are going to end up increasing the membership. But again, as we find better ways of increasing membership, having growth, the number of steps, you know, there are a number of issues that come up to point out the negative energy. People will always tell you it cannot be done if you went to the next question. And others are going to tell you that it's not worth, you know, it's not worth doing. And others will tell you all sorts of things as you continue. Why you of all people? And especially to those people who have exhibited talents in transforming society and in transforming others as leaders. Now, when you look out and support other people, you end up transforming yourself as an individual, but you also end up encouraging and supporting others. If we go to the next slide that we have just talked about, here we have the pedagogy of transformational ideas. And there's quite a number of things that we look out for. Most people are talking about Rotary has a particular culture, which culture we cannot change. I agree, absolutely, that's right. Let's go to the next slide. I agree completely. But friends, we're not looking at fighting the old. We want to focus our energy, not fighting the old, but building on the new. What is out there that is old, that we've been doing for the past 116 years, that has stagnated us at 1.2 million? Is it the way we treat the Rotarians? Is it the way we treat the potential Rotarians? Is it the cultures that we have in our clubs? Is it the ideal of I know more? What is it that we are not doing very well? Some always say that optimism is what brings us to Rotary. But Rotary is not a place for those who are only dreamers. It's a place for those with the ability, capacity, and compassion for fruitful service. What are we looking at? Like Steve Covey always says, the end in mind is having membership increase. The end in mind is making sure that all members are happy. And when you talk about membership growth has a couple of arms. It does not only look at the club growth, it also focuses on the international arm, you know, the international arm of growth, but also has a component of the ability, the capacity for you as an individual, or the capacity for the club to be able to attract other members into the, you know, into the club. And in that way, we are looking out at different ways of doing things. We have been doing the same old things. If I asked you, what is that we have been doing for the past 116 years that has stagnated us at 1.2? We might probably fail to have an answer, but the answers are clear and they are within us. We have not done the right things. If we have done the right things, we have not done enough. We need to do much more. We need to appreciate people. We need to encourage people. We need to choose out good ideas, because, you know, don't be afraid of good ideas. Be afraid of old ones. Those old ones will keep you where you are and stop you from growing. But most importantly is we are looking out for awakening the souls of our Rotarians. And at the end of the day, you'll find the vibrancy has increased, and very many of them will, you know, will work out a plan of making sure that they support the club. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, like Mahatma Gandhi. And this still goes back to the leaders, and leaders don't create followers, they create other leaders. Now, the leadership component is very important in terms of membership growth. Leaders are not supposed to be criticizing. Even when there's something negative, you always have to find a way around it to make sure that it doesn't make you feel that you're you know, exerting what we call positional leadership on someone. Leaders always find a way. You can have anything you want in life if you just have, you know, if you just help enough people to get what they want. And this is the leadership that we are still talking about here. Leaders are supposed to be, you know, very good listeners. We talked about empathy. And this is one thing that we are lacking, or we have missed out over time. But friends, the most important slide is that one. That is going to describe, that is going to tell us, you know, those wonderful ways that is going to bring out an issue of membership growth as of when, why, and how. Now, we're talking about increasing membership, but have we thought about taking care of people? I read somewhere in a book that was saying that take care of people, the products, and the profits in that order. Now, who are the people? The people are us, the Rotarians. And what is the product? The product is service. And then, you know, what is looking at the profit? You can name the profit as, you know, as it goes. But what are those small, simple things that we have not done right that we hope if we did, they'll be able to help us increase and realize membership increase and growth? Understanding your club members is very important, but also understanding the stakeholders is very important. I want to go slow there. Bill Gates says that I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. Now, we are in clubs, and most of us are very good at paying dues. Wonderful. But in terms of service, we are very inactive. And the big question is why? It will still go back to us as individuals in terms of realizing and looking at our personality, but also as the leadership of the club. If you've identified such a person, how are you going to help them realize their strengths? Give them particular tasks. Ask them to accomplish these tasks. Encourage them. Show them the way. This is what we have to do. To handle yourself, you know, you use the head, but to handle others, you have to use the heart. Have empathy. We have talked about empathy. And friends, tell your story. I have told people so many times to tell the outside world their story. When you're in Rotary, you join Rotary for a reason. There are a number of reasons why we all join Rotary. And if you asked the top 20 reasons by Richard D. King why we join Rotary, you're not going to miss out a reason for service, but also business development, leadership skills, fun, travel, name them. But what stories are we telling the outside world? Why haven't we put Rotary in the public eye? And when I was writing that book, I made sure that I focus on the core entity of Barry Raisin, the president, the past Rotary International president. He told us that if we want to increase membership, we need to go out there and put Rotary in the public eye. And the public eye in terms of having events that people are going to look out to, and people are going to appreciate and ask themselves, who are these? You're telling a story that people do not know. You're telling a story that people have not heard, but you're also telling a story of pride. As a Rotarian, you're telling a story of giving somebody who you will never get to see in this world. But think of the moment, the smile that you've put on this person, who is probably somewhere in a war, fighting without a meal, getting into bombshells, and so on and so forth. We need to tell people our stories of where we have come from, where we need to go. I always tell people my story, how I joined Rotary, and how I rose to the ranks, and how I rose to the person I am today. A very humble story of a boy who grew up in Kawempe, from a very, very, very humble family, ramshackle family. I don't fear to talk about this story because this is me. But a boy who grew up with a mother who was a street vendor, a mother who went to sell clothes on the street of Mengo Hospital, a mother who went to downtown Owino to buy all these old clothes to make sure that the boy goes to school. And the boy is the one that is talking to you this evening. The story of this boy coming up, rising from wherever they came from, they are now telling you a story. They're telling you a story of how inspirational they have been, not only to the lives of others, but also to the lives of their family. Mother Teresa said that if you want to execute love, if you want to execute help, if you want to execute all these good values in you, you have to go there, go back and love your family. The family is the first place on which we have impacted our Rotary values. Now, when we start telling them our story of what we have done as Rotarians, of what we have been able to achieve as Rotarians, these people are going to be humbled by our story. If we told our story at our workplaces, in these Rotary weeks, like I've written in the book, people would want to be part of us. But people are not going to be part of us if we don't open up, if we don't tell them our stories, if we do not use new transformational ways of attracting people. And the other thing is strong public image. When we talk about public image is how you relate to public. Rotary has a brand for 116 years that nobody has ever thought of. Rotary has customers, and in this case, these are the Rotarians and the potential Rotarians that we have never got the opportunity to invite. Now, when you talk about public image, we need to build this image in terms of sports. We need to build this image in terms of agriculture. Social media, like some already said, each one bring one. Simple things, but we are failing to do them. Maybe if we are doing them, but we are probably not doing them in the right way. Keeping a list of potential members, my dear friends, and this goes specifically to my very good friends. I have a couple of friends in Rotary Club of Kasese. I have Cookie, I have Pastor Governor Anjeru, I have Agrippina, I have Grace, wow. I have a number of them. Wow. And I hope they're online. Please keep a list of potential members.
They are very well listening to you, and they are happy about
Wonderful.
Mentoring.
Wonderful. Keep that list of those potential members. When you go out there and build a brand, when you go out there and build a very strong public image, there are a number of people that you're going to attract there. When you go out there and conduct these projects, the best way to attract members when you're doing club projects is to put Rotary in the public eye. For example, don in your Rotary attire. Live by the Rotary values. Do things with brands of Rotary. It costs nothing for you to put on a t-shirt branded Rotary. Now, the passers-by, the stakeholders you're working with are going to ask themselves, who are these people? And in the end, you're going to end up attracting people to get into one of the biggest service organizations. But friends, let us avoid also the other component of recruiting. Recruiting is what has been Rotary's biggest challenge. We need to stop recruiting, but we need to start attracting. Every time I give a talk to particular clubs, I tell them a story of a young man dating a beautiful woman. Take an example. For lack of a better example, I am dating Cookie. Now, Cookie is the chick, I am the guy. Now, what do? I have to wake up very early in the morning, greet her, hello, Cookie, hi, baby, how are you? All those things that guys do. I have to dress so nicely to make sure that she also has to dress nicely to make sure that she attracts me. I have to drive my beautiful car. It has to be clean all the time. And, all these sorts of things that we do, have these dinners, take them to Hawaii, buy them beautiful gifts, etc., etc. We might not be able to accomplish those. But just a simple text of checking on Cookie. Hi, are you well?
You may not come.
And then she'll also be happy and say, yes, I am well. And you get to build a story together. This is what Rotarians are missing out. We have failed to utilize simple transformational ways of attracting people. Imagine you've met someone in a supermarket, donned in your Rotary attire, and you exchange contacts. And you just tell them, hi, you have a nice shirt. You've already built rapport. You've already created, a niche. Now, when these people go back to their homes, they will start thinking about, that guy, have a dagger much, for lack of a better statement in English. In that way, you're going to open up, and they're also going to open up, and you're going to end up selling your product. You're going to end up selling what you want. And what you want, what you're selling is Rotary. And the product that is coming out is service. Friends, we need to look at the young blood, fresh young blood. We have talked and written about all these things everywhere, but we are failing to make sure that we utilize the robustness, the aggressiveness, the proactiveness of the young Rotarians, who we call Rotractors. We need to devise better ways of using them to be able to attract and grow Rotary. They don't want you to only call them when you're having a project and you're going to ask them, take for me this document to the president to sign, run around and go and bring the banners. No, they want to plan with you. And they're the future of Rotary. If you do not plan with them right now, you're going to have problems of increasing the membership as we continue. Now, talking about Rotary everywhere you go, in the meetings that you have, talk about Rotary. Be proud. One of the top 10 reasons why people join Rotary is pride. I talk about Rotary everywhere I go. One time I was stuck in one of these airports in the UK. And guess what? The person at the immigration was, because I had donned my PIN, she was a Rotarian. And all of a sudden she comes around, she asks me, are you all right? I had forgotten my documents back in the hotel. But guess what she did? She gave me a quick police vehicle, got in the vehicle, drove back to the hotel about 20 miles away to pick the documents, came back, and boom, that was it. Talking about Rotary, having a Rotary out there in the public eye is one of the things that will successfully increase membership. We have talked about partnerships. Every now and then, clubs and Rotarians have encountered different partnerships with different clubs, but also different individuals in the business world and the other entities. But friends, these partners that we always run to get monies for conducting our projects, to get, today Centenary Bank has given us 100 million. The reason why they're giving us this money is because we are continuously engaging them. Now, the business of running to people at the last minute should not be a priority for Rotarians. It is not going to increase, it is not going to attract people to be part of you, because they will be like this type of lady who is always asking for money from a guy, but when the guy asks them to come and visit them, they never turn up. But every time, please send me some money for your time. Please send me some money, my mother is sick. Please send me what. Pick me here and drop me here. For those people who do those things, I am not part of them. But when you ask them, can you come and visit me? Wapi? They never turn up, This is not what Rotary is supposed to be. Rotary is supposed to be having these engagements with the partners all the time, and in a holistic way, celebrating success with purpose and fun. Most people want to take Rotary as a very serious organization where people don't have fun, where people don't smile. My dear, no, the world has changed. Even in the top 20 reasons why we join Rotary, number 7 is fun. Some of you, many of you have traveled to these Rotary international conventions. You see the fun that is there. Every time I close my eyes, I cry and I miss out the convention of 2020, the one we were supposed to have in Hawaii. I had actually saved heavily for this to go and make sure that I have this fun, but man, it never happened. We need to look out for fun. We go out there and dance for fun. We have encountered and generated new things like the Laughter's Fellowship and comedy. We are out there to smile, laugh. We spend days, hours, serious in office. If you got me in my office, you would not think that it is the Haji who is always on Laughter's Fellowship, because the things I post are opposite of the person I am at work. Now, where does this fun take us? This fun takes us to appreciating ourselves, believing in ourselves, but also putting the stress levels a little bit down. Now, once we do this, as we are celebrating out there, people are going to start asking, who are these guys out? When we used to go to Governor for the Dancing Rotarians Fellowship, we used to go donned in our attire. And everybody within Governor would start asking, who are these guys? And guess what? I personally attracted about 10 Rotarians, 7 were females, 3 were gentlemen. I don't know why the ratio went that way, but the rest is history. Today, they're all Rotarians. This is where we need to go. You know, the membership challenge game. I have told and I've spoke to a number of clubs. I've told them, have this as a challenge game. You know, this bring one, each one bring one. Make it competitive entirely for a year. My friend Ranjeru there will tell you that if Hamza chooses to do something, he will do it. If Hamza chooses that he wants to do something, he's going to execute it. Now, the task that I'm going to give the Rotary Club of Kasese, each and every one of you, just this Rotary year. I don't know how many are you. You're about 20 or 30 or so. Each and every one of you. You're how many?
We are 32.
32 now. I am tasking each and every one of you to bring just that one member. Have that challenge. Compete about the challenge. And at the end of the day, we shall recognize you as individuals. For those of you who can do more than one, please do more than one. We shall recognize you. Recognition in Rotary is very important because there is no pay that you're going to get in, you know, in terms of executing projects, but also having activities done. But the ability for you to recognize others, appreciate others, is one thing that that we need to look out for. Have less meetings, friends. Do more service. Do more public events. The people out there want to know who you are. And everything that you do out there, do it with passion, do it with compassion, do it with love, do it with the ability, do it with the fact that we're only looking at success and execution of membership attraction. Very many people want to be part of you, but they fear you. But when you go out there and you open up to them, you know, you do more of these public events. We are doing all these Rotary leadership forums. We are recognizing women in Rotary. We are having all these jazz functions. And you know, when we do all these adverts around, people want to be part of us. At the end of the day, you're going to attract more people and you're going to increase the membership. And in conclusion, friends, their loyal hearts, their spirits brave, and their souls that are pure and true, then give the world the best, and the best will come back to you. Thank you very much for taking time to listening to me. I know for sure that there is a couple of questions. I'll be very happy to answer these questions. And if there are no questions, bad story. That means that you've either understood everything or you've not understood a thing. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Hamza. How can I describe this? You have really, the presentation was very, very clear. You are audible enough. We have heard a lot, we have learned a lot. And I surely believe that many of us outside there are burning with so many questions to ask, and they would really wish that Rotarian Hamza should respond to whatever they would wish to know.